You made an interesting point. I was actually listening to you on another interview, but you made an interesting point that that boxing is almost more damaging than bare knuckle boxing, but people fear bare knuckle boxing more. Which the point you made was that yeah, if you in boxing you're gonna take so many hits more than a bare knuckle boxing fight because you're gonna get cut, you're gonna bleed, and then they're gonna stop the fight. But as to boxing, you might get cut one time, but but the amount of hits you're taking on top of that, adds way more
Well,
damage.
when you break it down on, the purpose of a boxing glove, and you go back way, way early when they used to stand toe to toe and draw a line and they'd stand there and punch one another,
Mm-hmm.
without moving. And of course, they started moving, and boxing did it a long time ago, and UFC did it in 90, I believe 94, 95, is that they realized while or in the early days of boxing, they would have champions come out there and they would fight. And majority of the time, the champion would break his hand, or both of them would break their hand. And whoever won that fight would then have to fight 3 or 4 months later. And they were realizing that they wouldn't be able to fight again because it takes a lot longer for a hand to heal to be able to go out and punch somebody again, especially bare knuckle. So they wanted to figure out a way to protect that hand so it wouldn't break. Hence boxing gloves. So the reality of it is they didn't put a glove on a person to protect the head or the fighter. They put the glove on the hand to protect the hand. That's the reality of it. So if you look at it from that aspect, you realize that, wait, it's not about safety. It's about having a fighter be healthy enough to come back and fight again. Mm-hmm. Not the reality of going, wait a minute, what does it do to the guy on the other side that's getting hit with it? Well, think about it for a minute. If you're breaking your hand and you put a glove on it, now you're telling, and tape underneath it, now you're telling your guy now that I can punch him and I don't have to be accurate. And I can go ahead and swing hard because I got protection. And so that's what you get. But when you see a boxer who has had a long career and has even been a champion, held the strap for a while, you go back and talk to them 20 years later, and you will see an effect of what that boxing glove has done to their brain, because they normally don't talk very well. Some of them have a hard time getting their words out, and some of them have a hard time putting words together. And then some of them die short deaths because of the damage that has been done long term. Now you flip it up to this early stages of when UFC first came out. And it was bare knuckle, and I fought it. And I fought in bare knuckle. I fought in open hand. I fought with gloves. I fought with 4 ounce. I fought with 16 ounce. And when they came out and said they were going to put a glove on, because Tank wore a glove out there one time, and they were like, wow, that's pretty interesting. Well, they had the same idea, because not only were we fighting every couple months, but we were fighting 3 or 4 times a night. And so when we would go through there, even myself, I sustained a broken hand against Brian Johnston. I wasn't able to go out and fight in that next round in the Ultimate. And I believe that was Ultimate 96. I wasn't able to come out there and fight. I believe it was Tank was going to be my next fight after I beat Brian Johnston. Well, I had broken my hand, and it was from a punch. And I was actually on the ground at the time when I punched him. So I couldn't go out there. Now, when Tank wore these gloves out there, he started knocking people out. They got an idea of what boxing had known for a long time, that, hey, this is a great idea. We can put a glove on our guys, and then we'll be able to have them come back and fight the semifinal and the finals in the same night, because we won't be breaking their hands. There was no thought about what that damage would do to the other fighter. The only thought was the guy that was winning could then go to the next round. So I just want to make sure people understand that concept and the process of these gloves, so they don't look at you and go, man, that's nuts. There's no way it could be safer if it's bare knuckle. Well, the reason why they put gloves on there was because they realized they could protect the hand. And now you're talking not about a 12-ounce glove or even a 8-ounce glove. Now you're talking a 4-ounce glove with tape underneath it to protect the hand. That is like a rock. And now I don't have to hit you in the chin or the nose or the cheek. I can hit you in the top of the head, the side of the head, and you'll go down, and I'll be able to go to the next round. And so, but the problem with that is now you're causing people, when you put gloves on now, you're allowing somebody to go longer distances, and you're taking more punishment than you would if you didn't have the glove on. And so just so those people truly understand the concept of what a glove was originally used for, was to protect the hand, not the head.